they're looking for against each other, but they also haven't seen this specific lineups yet, as far as I'm aware of, going into the regular season. So definitely, I mean, as we can see here, we're getting rid of certain champion pools like Zac jungle, Darius top laner against Tuba, Cassin and Zillion mid lanes against the respective mid laners here. And then we're gonna have the Alawi pick a ban, of course, against Hurtus, as we see. And the final one is Ivor, and so another one against Mayor Huevos is champion pool. So with that being said, it looks like the Ban Rumble team is on the blue side, and they actually just first pick the Warwick here. And from there, we're going to get into some more power picks. Caitlyn is probably the most dominant, controlling of the bot lane right now, and the Gragas can be flexed to top or support. It is relatively safe, steady jungler, a little bit more early pressure with Gangst and Warwick, but if Warwick does get going, we will go up against. Now, Gelati's team looks like, and they are the Ban Rumble. They do not have. They're actually going to go with the Zyra pick. This is something that's usually banned against them because I think Big Bad Red has been on his team before in the past, and that's usually a staple of his. So they are able to secure that, but it looks like they are running Khan Rathan today. So that's he'll be taking that into the support position. And Tristana, which is seeing a lot more up-and-coming play in solo queue and in the pro scene, since a lot of the other AD carries have been nerfed and they're messing with the items. And looks like Karma is the counter bot lane here for Zyra plant. So as we get into the second round here, both teams have selected their bot lanes and their junglers, saving their solo laners for hopefully some counter picks and from some safe play. This goes to the fact that Tuba is the highest ranked player advantage, I think currently as well. So Hurtus wants to make sure she can try and get a counter there. That being said, Gelati likes to try and counter pick as well. So who's the next ban? I think it's This wrong team. KR. Ooh, just got that one, and there's the Karthus ban, and that is against Gelati. And then it looks like we have bans going against top laners here with the Shen. That's something that Hurtus will pull out as well. And the final ones, what did they go with? They went with Renekton is the lane bully. So definitely take out of Tuba's pool here to try and make sure he doesn't control the lane too strong, and they can get a nice safe top pick. And finally, Fizz is the final ban here for Ban Rumble. Definitely don't want to see that coming out of the mid lane or the top lane if they decided to split it up, but seeing as that that's how they go. Someone has to do a blind pick here for Zyra in the solo lanes, and Hurtus is confident. Looks like she's actually she goes and picks the Camille up here. Seeing her put a lot of time in on that in her stream recently, so she definitely feels confident taking this into kind of whatever she wants. As return, Gelati has to do a counter pick blind, and he's going to go with the Cassiopeia. And the final the pick, is it really? It is Irelia. It is going to be Irelia. So Camille can kind of deal with the Rumble that Tuba's known for, which is rather don't ban Rumble. So he's going to pick Irelia. It's kind of a one-on-one matchup. It's kind of, they each have their points where they're going to be stronger in the dueling aspect, and with that taken into effect, we'll see how the top lane goes in the solo duel. And Echo is the final pick, not Varus. I clicked the wrong champion. I'm an idiot. That's Echo. Images. pretend this is an Echo. That's not a Varus, that's an Echo. So I'm going to kind of talk about the console. I can get the stuff pulled up here in the game started from the replay file. If it wants to go. So as we look at the comps here, there's the split pushing the top lanes, kind of the duelists. They kind of want to be in the one-on-one matchups or get some flanking off in team fights with the split push. As for the other side, for the junglers, Warwick's a little bit more of a farm-heavy jungler compared to the Gragas, but both can have extremely impactful ultimates. Going into that mid-game, Warwick's eventually might become a unkillable sustain tank compared to the Gragas. And I put the teams on the wrong side. That is probably why that draft went that way. Okay, so I put the teams on the wrong side in the draft phase for the match. Sorry about that. But the draft looks relatively the same. The mid laners, the Echo, Ninja Blood on yet another assassin or assassin-like champion. Fits his profile of heavy damage, heavy skirmishing, heavy roams. Gelati, kind of a control lane mid laner, good with the Cassiopeia, a little bit more damage, but definitely can try and to push out and be a team fighter on that end. We're gonna have the bot lane of the Caitlyn Karma, who are going to be pretty strong into pushing, but I think Zyra Tristana will be able to push back against it. I just don't know how well the Tristana is going to be able to farm, seeing as the explosion on the E does, sometimes hinder the CSing not reaching the high points here. So we should be. Why is it not going? Nope. A, B. There it is. Okay. And we should be switching over now. Does that pull up? There it goes. So as both teams go onto the Rift here, the familiarity of both these teams, I think, really plays into a pact on how these teams are going to go about it. As we see, it does look like Ban Rumble here. The Ban Rumble is on the red side. Ignore the sides of the pick bands that I had up there on the screen, as apparently incoordinated on picking the correct side colors. But we do have a 5-man full invade, and Camille's going to go pretty much straight in here, getting in one auto attack on the, Tristana. But other than that, nothing really done on either side. Place the ward, see if it starts on the blue buff. But everyone pretty much was seen on the side of Zyra, who, jeez. So Zyra's on Rumble's team, and Zyra, the team of Zyra. Okay, so we're gonna change it up because we're gonna have don't, and then or ban. Yeah, let's have team ban on the red side and team plants on the blue side, because that way we can just leave Zyra for the champion of Zyra. Rumble's luckily not in this game, but that's confusing. It's ridiculous. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, other people. Laners come straight out here. Not much basic start, on the blue buff. Really strong leash here for Mayor Huevos, as he's going to be able to just take that blue buff and get a move in. Some trades being put in mid lane, and Gragas is going to start the Wraiths as well. Should be able to go Wraiths red, and then we'll see here where he wants to go on from there. There did look like a deep ward was got down on, and Camille goes in for the jump here, but Tuba, excellent job getting the stun right as it was about to land, as just some trading up in top lane. Another stun on top. The junglers moving about, not too much here, just some poke going on. I really want to see how the aggression that usually comes out on the side of plants here. They're usually one of the teams that's really aggressive, whereas the side of Ban is usually the more methodical of the two teams. Hopefully we can see some of that action today and how that plays off against each other, because the methodicalness is one recently. As you see, there's good trade going in. Well, it looked like a good trade for her. She did get a lot of damage put back onto that Irelia up there in top. As the Warwick's cleared out the Skull Crab a little bit faster clear so far for Warwick, as we possibly see the junglers meet up here. Nope. See that the Skull Crab was taken, and Gragas is just going to back off right away. Hit the vision plant, get some eyes in the sky for the top half of the map. Ninja has taken a lot of damage, but has burnt a ton of mana. Does have the potions here. Going to go for the Dark Seal into Corrupting Pot build for the mid laner. Just trying to push lane, get back, in and out as much as possible. Try and keep CS, keep pressure up, and then continue on. Both wards are in the that river bush. Down in mid lane here, so we see Gragas going to come in for a wrap around Grank, flash out by Gelati real quick, place the grounded, so the body slam already burnt by Double Donger, although he took a lot. Oh my, okay, traded kills up in top lane. As I was looking at the we're gonna go back, just trading stun. Ooh. First Blood does go over there to the Camille, and so she's going to get a nice start going on here. We did throw out the Doran shield, is going to be able to pick up the Sheen, where Irelia went with the Doran's sword and get that. So that extra First Blood gold really going to help her get to her first item, and she's going to teleport. Whereas Irelia looks like it's going for, we got 2 long swords and a cloth armor going against the Camille. Both of the top players teleport back to top lane. Gelati getting some poke in onto Echo there, so he cannot back. He wants to get back, get his items, and teleport back in and start to pushing again. So when he hits 6, he can either use that to roam and get help with the gank, or use it to just ult back to lane and continue the farming. Tristana is doing fairly well down here in the spot lane, and CS, basically staying even with the Caitlyn. Judging by the mana of the supports, there's not been a lot of trading going down on the bottom half of the map, as mostly as the stun does come out. The counter Tuba's reactions are really good with this Irelia E, as every time that Hertis goes in for the jump, seems to get the stun countered back to him. Gragas, though, possibly looking for a tower dive or just some deep wards against this Warwick, who is on the bottom half of his map farming, as both the junglers have backed. This is interesting that the Caitlyn Zyra lane, usually one of the lanes that's, Caitlyn Karma lane, one of the lanes that can be really hard pushing, and I don't know if they're not hard pushing specifically. Probably that is one of the things, is we see Echo actually going to go in here onto Cassiopeia, but that's not going to be enough. Doesn't land the stun, and Warwick's going to come through, try and land a gate, but the slow from the Q from Echo is going to dissuade that. Back to the bot lane here. Karma Caitlyn can be really shoving lane and really dominant pushing in, but the explosions from Tristana keeping the lane pushed up as long as the Zyra plants, I think, is really counteracting that, not allowing them to be pushed in, and everyone to just kind of be safe farming. As we see both the top laners have hit 6, and they really want to duel here as we see Tuba jumping around. Camille's going to go back in with the stun and flash in. There's the ult from Tuba. Is one more. There's the ult, counteract, and down goes Camille. The ult was just, brought her back into range. Not sure if that was necessary or if she was eventually going to go down to the final shot out of Aurelia's ult there. But with the top laners trading kills, Camille has started the fall, a little bit behind now in CS, and now with that death, cannot teleport back to top lane, has to walk it out, and is going to miss about 2 waves up there, as Tristana is going to jump out of the, Karma snare, but Gragas comes in with the flash body slam, nearly takes out Tristana with the help of the support, but Goonball not able to push up and get in some auto attack damage that would have really helped secure that what would have been a kill. Just ain't landed a Q there at the end. Now that Echo has this dark seal and has picked up a Doran's ring, is able to ult, push the wave, and then back by, heal up, and then ult back into lane, which is allowed for be able to push faster and push more, while Cassiopeia is trying to stack this tier and just stay pushed up in this position. As Camille actually looks like to go in, but does not land the stun. It does with the damage. That extra shield that she gets against the physical damage coming out for Aurelia is nice, but the true damage coming out on Aurelia's W, which Tuba is stacking here, means that that can't be blocked, right? Because the Camille shield is either magic or it's basically a magic resist shield or a armor shield, which only apply to those 2 stipes. And sometimes against Aurelia, the health is kind of what you need in that end. Also, Aurelia looks like going for Blade of the Root King first item instead of Trinity Force. The sustain is really strong for Aurelia up here with her W, which also gives her lifesteal on hit, and the Builder Cutlass, which is lifesteal as well. Is never really going to leave lane, and with the kill advantage and the item advantage now, is really a strong position. Is Aurelia is going to have to go in here, and pops the ult. Double Donger is here to help, and not going to be able to finish them off. And Gragas is going to go down to the Warwick, who ulted in at the very end here. Now let's see if Mayor Huevos wants to take in on this Camille. Doesn't look like he does have double buff, but the damage being traded here so much with the Sheen procs of Camille on the work. He's going to try and sustain up and just make sure this tower doesn't get too far into the tower and gain some of that CS. The bot laners are just farming it up a storm. Both have now picked up a BF sword down here bot lane, where Tristana has gone for the boots, that extra little bit of mobility, while Caitlyn has gone for the double daggers there for that extra little bit of attack speed. Aurelia has teleported back to the top lane to try and get that farm. Has picked up the Ninja Tabe and the dagger as well for attack speed, and Camille has also finished the Ninja Tabe as well. Lots of attack, focus champions here in this battle. Both the top laners, both obviously the AD carries. Warwick can be attack focused, melee, autos. Coming into the mid and late game, depending on how his spells are progressing. Echo can get in there and deal some melee damage as well. Same with Gragas. So this top lane has been pretty much where all of the action has been for the game so far. Both mid lane and bot lane have been pretty boring, and just the farming sensations that are down there. The Double Donger has done a decent job of trying to provide pressure across the entire map, whereas Warwick has just more or less just been farming and just did the counter gank up in top lane. Has, I believe, got the Scuttle Sears. Echoes we see finally on the roam here. Tuba's going to go for the stun, and Camille's going to go right in, and Camille back in, and there's one more ult, and stun coming out from the Echo. Go back to... Hurtus made it out as... Flash out from Tuba's going to survive, because it actually took me down to bot lane to watch this counter gank down here. We have a teleport from Echo coming out now. Wave Rails is going to flash away. Great grounding on the side of Cassiopeia, making sure Echo, if did follow. Camille actually is the one who follows. Maybe communication, as there's the Zyra ult, permit that damage ult coming out from the Caitlyn. Tristana E explosion pretty good. Cassiopeia is going to flash in, but get ignited in return. A lot of major damage coming back. Go back to the fight. Oh, jeez. And Tuba's going to die up in top lane. Why does it keep going back here? As Camille goes back over the wall, and as Caitlyn was finished off by the Tristana. Skirmishing going on. Interesting that usually the team that's pressing the issue is the side of Plants, but in this particular the game, the 4-man and bot stronger than the 2-man. The teleport was not able to secure anything other than just preventing maybe a little bit of deaths, as the Warwick tried to look like the start up to Dragon. Not necessary. Zyra and Warwick have to leave, as Double O'Dollinger has returned to push them off. Echo was able to push in that top wave, so that is a lot of farm going down to the tower up there, preventing Aurelia from getting even further ahead, as the smite comes out from Warwick, secures Scuttle Crab. See Tuba going in, just getting some CS. Now, Echo does have the Proto Belt and is up about 20 CS onto the Cassiopeia, who's playing the long con, right? Looks like we're going to have a Rod of Ages, a Seraph's Embrace. Those take a long time to get built up, and the longer it takes for them to get built up, the better position Echo's going to be in, especially in this lane. Look how much damage Echo just dumps in onto Cassiopeia, and Cassiopeia has to be the one to try and stay in lane, because Echo can, leave and ult back so easily to just continue to keep up that pressure. So it's on emphasis for Cassiopeia to play it properly, as Camille's going to go in and just lay some damage in onto Tubas. Gets just out of tower range and goes in for the tower dive and is successful. So Camille not exactly doing swell up here in top lane, and with that death and the blue buff being handed over to Cassiopeia, looks like they're in fairly good situation right now, as the Zyra is going to lay down some, plant zone control. Great ult by Gelati here, as to stop the Echo from finishing up the combo to take her out. But Tristana's going to jump straight in, try and get in onto this Caitlyn, as Tuba takes down the top tower. Ult comes out onto Rixay, just to provide some more poke damage. Echo trying to get this Cassiopeia off of tower and either back to base so he can deal some damage of his own, or just straight up kill. And yep, that is the death of the Cassiopeia. Just straight out Echo, tower dive. No sums on the side of Cassiopeia. Already had burnt the ults. Couldn't use the poison to shield. Here comes the tower. And with the trading of towers, Warwick's actually going to go in, get his ult canceled by the Grox. And there's the Gragas with the ult. But that Echo damage just too strong, as another laner, or I guess the jungler in this case, drops here in the mid lane trying to protect the tower. But Aurelia teleporting in here. It's kind of a skirmish. They really want to get in onto this tier 1 and trade this tower out. Once they trade this tower out, Echo's going to have more ability to roam to side lanes and do the 1-3-1 that Plants like to do. They're really a fan of this. Hurtus is a big, split pusher. Ninjas loves these assassins that can split, collapse in, get picks in the jungle. They get this Caitlyn to the mid lane instead of sitting down here in bot lane, just to make sure that no one pushes in onto their tier 1 as a really good way of wave clear, and there get the Caitlyn farmed up as well. It's just kind of the style that this team really likes and that they play. That's one of their strengths. And that being said, the band team here with the Warwick and the Aurelia, I don't know how they're going to exactly set up to counter the 1-3-1 if it gets pushed into them or forced upon them. I think their best situation is to try and prevent that from happening, and with the 1-4, the split, where you just have Aurelia and Camille off in their side lanes, and make sure that Ninja Blood is not running around doing whatever he wants to do, and keeping the the teams together, held it in a position. Now they look like, because that's something they can do, they're going to maybe look to take the Rift Herald, see what options they have here since the top tower is down. Aurelia going to clear out a pink ward up here on top. As we see once again, the AD carries going back at it. Now, Caitlyn has gone for the BF sword into Zeal into pickaxe, so it doesn't have anything finished off, but Tristana went full hard into the IE, so critting already coming out on the side of the little Yordle. Or, technically, is it the little dragon that Tristana is carrying? Because, you know, Tristana's not dealing damage. The little dragon that she squeezes to spit out little fireballs is really doing the damage. So does the little dragon crit then? How does that work? I think that's how it works. The dragon's little fireballs can crit. By the way, that's an adorable skin. Echo's really pushed in here on mid, as you know, they may look to collapse here in onto. That's a 2 waves as Camille's going to go in right away, get in onto Tuba. Here comes of Gragas just trying to take this down. Probably nothing much Tuba can do other than, oh, never mind. Apparently just kill Gragas and then get double buffs, as Warwick's going to ult in onto this Karma, and that's a dead Karma with the help of Zyra and Tristana. Finish off the support down there as ganks respond. Aurelia, really strong though, was able to pick up that kill in the 2v1, and now Camille is stuck under tower, getting that much needed CS, but Echo is going to spend time in this mid lane. Cassiopeia ults just to prevent going down, as Echo's going to try and, you know, sustain this through, go back in onto Cassiopeia, maybe Pap's ult flashes, and it looks like going to go down as Warwick actually gets the kill. Camille teleported in. Tristana's going to go over there. One more auto attack, maybe able the explosion does finish off Camille. We now have buffs transferred over to Tristana, and if Tristana now 3-0-1 does have the IE, doesn't necessarily need the attack speed. If Trista just pops the E and Q here, this tower can go really quickly, and that's not what they wanted from this from Plants. They want to be the 1-3-1 comp. They do not want to lose this mid tower. With the Echo, you know, Ninja Blood went for the kill on Gelati, and I think that was his play style. That's what he wants to do, as we see the heal having to be popped from Tristana. But I think if he would have just focused in on the tower and made this play less risky, right? And take this tower and then set up for your 1-3-1 and really get, like I said, Echo in one lane, Camille in another, have the Gragas start, you know, protecting the Camille, and focus on that portion of the map. We know Dragon is down. Just have the AD carry here, because, you know, Cassiopeia and Tristana both kind of want to try and get to this mid lane farm, and if they get stuck collecting the same amount of CS or the same waves, they're not scaling. I know Cassiopeia is still scaling with the Rod of Ages only halfway stacked. She's still sitting on the tier. We haven't even been able to get the Seraphs and Braves, but this Tristana has picked up the Zeal now and will be able to kind of push out. Echo is 3-0-0 with the Sheen, should be able to get some tower damage done by himself if they wanted to, you know, go back to this aspect, as we see once again the 4 members of band roaming in as a squad, as they pretty much need to do with the way that this comp is here. Set up. They have some nice anti-engage of the Zyra. They have some nice engage of Zyra, I guess, and Cassiopeia. They have some nice engage with the Warwick. They have some resets if Tristana can get going and kind of hopping around. As Tristana's going to try and fight, Rixey's going to fight Goomball with cheese, that ult, and one more, and Flash with the ult, and Healed comes out, and just enough of Rixey to sustain, and down goes Tristana, though. Got really too greedy. Gragas was able to capitalize there, as we now see Echo is going to jump in onto Warwick and trying to lay the pain, but the excess farm, Cassiopeia is going to eat a ton of damage, and she's going to drop here as Warwick's going to miss his ult. There's the ult back by Echo. Gets snared up by Zyra. Is going to take so much damage. There's the knockup. I think it's going to go down, as we actually see Aurelia finishes off the Camille in the top wave here, and with her going down. That 1-3-1 split push is getting even harder as Aurelia cannot sustain in lane against this. Camille cannot sustain in lane against Aurelia. Warwick is getting the more impactful ganks off so far. He's up in CS 2-1 and 3 compared to the 1-3-3 of Gragas. Why do they always cut to champion running away when there's, we could look at like Echo or Tristana farming. It's whatever. I'm really, the 4 group, like I said, the group of 4 is going really well on the side of Ban. And I think that's mostly because the 1 is way ahead. And here's Tristana just mowing down this mid lane tower, because Caitlyn went back to bot lane to try and push out that wave instead of protecting her mid tier 2 or tier 1. As Echo's going to go back in, as Tristana's just laying down on so much damage. There's the Gragas ult, puts the Cassiopeia back in on this. Warwick's going to come in here. We'll see if Uba does come in and get stunned instantly by the Echo bubble there. May looking for some counteraction, has picked up the Trinity Force, and now it's Goomball here in the mid lane to clear this out. See how they want to play this. Camille does go in here and looks like pops the ult to prevent the damage. Tristana, so much damage over the wall. No one got into Tristana as Camille and Gragas drop so fast to Aurelia. Tristana, Zyra, this bot lane, so much damage coming out from them, and not really fed up as we see Zyra has gone for the Sork shoes and the haunting guys. So pure magic penetration, basically probably doing true damage to most of these champions because no one has any magic resist yet. Jelani's been cut out a few times here on this Cassiopeia, but I think that's just the way that the Echo plays into Cass and the ability of that hard push into counteract. But once again, what the failure so far is in the 1-3-1 that Plants wanted to, is the Camille is dying too much to the Aurelia, and that means that one part of their 1-3-1 is failing, and now we have Cassiopeia is able to kind of just go back down here and, well, I guess take Chunk down to half health, going up against this Echo in the bot lane here. And it looks like Ninja Blood possibly going to go in for more, but no, here comes Warwick. The fear goes off, not enough. And there's the grounding in as, Echo, dirty Echo, can just ult his way back safely, back to, his back in time place. Dragon second. Dragon spawning here. It's going to be another Air Drake as we see the 4-man team converge on this. Karma's gone up top, possibly to help with Camille on this Aurelia. Wards being cleared out on the side of Plants. And they are going to start up this Dragon. Probably just going to be handed over unless cheeky Gragas steal with the barrel. Nope, not happening. Really is going to back off as Karma does show in lane. And this is the 4-1, right? Where the 1 is stronger than a 1 and a 1-3-1. And now the group is 4 can go around, start taking dragons. They took some towers. Echo is stuck here now, gets ulted in under tower, and with the help of the suppression of Zyra and Warwick is going to go down. Another tower is going to get mowed down as the 3 for the side of Plants finally start doing a counteract push. They get Caitlyn in onto this tier 2. They dealt a lot of damage here as Gragas is here trying to protect, but now Tristana and Warwick have not locked to the back, so they're probably going to just trade tier 2s. And I think this is going to be Infant. Zyra on the backside flashes in with the snare and the help of Aurelia take down the Caitlyn, and their retreat allows them to pick up kills while Warwick and Tristana are continued to go down in the bot lane as Gragas is going to fall there. Warwick gets off a nice field, but here is Tristana laying out all of the damage right now. The static shiv on top of that IE, so much crits with the Vamp Scepter is going to be able to get some lifesteal as looks like Plants are Ban Rumble's going to do Baron while their jungler and AD carrier bot lane just absolutely trying to mow down this tower. Camille teleported up there trying to prevent this, but she's going to get exhausted and rooted and just straight up killed. Echo's going to try and get in onto Tristana, but that's not going to happen as the damage does enough from Irelia and Cassiopeia. Now Cassiopeia can take that Baron really fast with her spam ability of, you know, magic damage, Zyra plants, Irelia with Blade of the Rude King, and Trinity Force finish that off as well. With the empowered recalls here, Ban Rumble's in really good strength here. Their group of 4 is succeeding against the 3 and 1 of plants, and their 1 is, you know, succeeding against the 1 as well. And with the Baron take here, Caitlyn's gone back down the bot line, trying to just probably push up some waves so they can't get pushed in. This top tier 2 and mid tier 2 is probably where Ban's going to look towards here. They do have, that's where their pink wards are on. You know, Irelia does have, I guess, teleport is up, so can definitely get this bot lane pushing and get it to a nice spot. But with Tristana on these towers, it's just so much damage, although the explosion does make the, you know, proc the tower aggro, so takes Caitlyn ult to the face, but doesn't really do that much as the Vamp Scepter with another BF sword, probably going for a sorry, just trying to watch this work. The work is, his jump is so wonky looking. That's a trap. And more trap. Pink ward here as and Irelia not able to jump in on Camille as she gets a back off. Just trying to clear out the minion wave so we can get maybe some cannons coming up here. Caitlyn lands some traps here as Irelia finishes off, and we got 3 people here in onto the Irelia. Make that 4 as Warwick's going to come in and try to counter engage as well. Zyra's here and lands a nice ultimate there, laying off a great zone control on the side as Echo is going to take down Irelia, but Camille drops, and same as Echo, too much damage coming out of the side, and nothing they can redo is Karma's going to lay out some shield and speed ups, but this is going to be a free inhibitor. Probably can go back up to this tier 2 and focus it down. They may able to just face tank it if Tristana's with them. I don't know if they want to do that, but that's possibly a possibility, but it looks like they're just going to more worry about the traps here, get them out of the way so Caitlyn can't counteract that siege. Gragas trying to do his best job preventing the minions from getting into tower range, but that's not going to particularly matter as Tristana E's and autos a few times, and it is gone. This Tristana has fallen off slightly a little bit in the farm game, but this Caitlyn hasn't been as impactful as Tristana is 5-1-3, and once Tristana is able to get to 3 items, can just absolutely mow through towers. And great job by Ban for using the last bit of their Baron to get in a final recall with that empowered recall before getting out of their bases. There is the Bloodthirster for Tristana, so full 3 items for her. Irelia has pretty much dominated whatever side lane she is in, as she now has a Sterix and a BS sword. This is full damage Irelia. No tankiness coming out on the side of her other than the Sterix at the moment. Camille still trying to get in onto that Titanic Hydra to help push out back against Irelia's pressure, and we do have a Flame Horizon there as well. 251 to 145 for Irelia. Way up in the CS. It's counteracted a little bit by the mid laner and the AD carry, but right now it's the towers that are the most impactful, and the bot lane inhibitor, as they've pretty much lost all their tier 1s, all of their tier 2s now. And one of the inhibitor towers is Irelia is going to go straight in onto Echo, take lots of return damage, and with the Sterix proc is going to be able to help sustain through some of it as she's trying to make sure that her team and Camille and Caitlyn are over here, and that means no one is left in the mid lane and let to deal with this enemy team. Warwick's going to try and decide if he wants to go. Camille's going to go over the wall. This is a terrible decision to do that, and I don't know if she wanted to do that. It must have been a misclick, because I don't think that's something that was necessarily the wise decision. And now Tristana is able to jump over the wall, and Warwick's going to go in with the help of Tristana onto Gragas, and one tower is going to go down, and they're probably just going to finish this up and take out some inhibitor towers, if not both. They should just take both of them here. both inhibitors. I don't know if they're going to want to push in for the win or if they're going to back off slightly. If they can catch out Echo, that may be the best decision here, as Echo's going to ult just to get some life back and not get finished off here. Zyra's missing health, but other than that, Aurelia's the only one missing any thing really, and that was mana, but Aurelia just straight up killed Caitlyn, so the strength of Tuba up in top lane on the Aurelia, counterpicked it into the Camille. Definitely we're going really good. The combination of Tristana, Zyra, able to keep the bot lane pushed out of the, Caitlyn Karma, and so they never really got pushed in under tower. Echo going for kills in the mid lane instead of just focusing down that mid lane tower, or the kind of results in the fact that the 1-3-1 that they want to pull off just didn't get going to the point where it needed to be, as the 1 and the 4 on the side of Ban were just stronger at that point, stronger individually, but levels and items, experience. They did have the extra dragons, Baron. Cassiopeia finally got to a point where she got her Rod of Ages and Sterix. As we see, Camille was just out taking as much jungle as she possibly could, trying to get some kind of wards, trying to figure out what the enemy team is doing. But she's level 13 to now just, Tuba and Aurelia just hit level 18 already, and we're not even 33 minutes into the game. Ninja Blood's the oldest one on his team is level 17, where, the supports are still 13 and 14, so big difference there. Double Donger's, level 14, so it's really just the experience and the gold right now at the moment that's allowing them to pressure in not only the quality of double super minions in every lane, and it looks like they're just going to kind of face it here, as Tuba's going to go straight in and get a kill onto Karma. Echo's going to be able to ult out, and I don't think he's going to be able to live. Pops the Zonias as Double Donger drops to Tristana, and yet another kill is returned. So a snowball-y game on the side of Don't Ban Rumble here, as we kind of looked at the items, but just quick check the gold. The Aurelia to Camille difference is 6,000. That's the gold difference at the end of the game. Now, a lot of that is towers, but a lot of that is those early kills and the way that they, when they died, how the waves crashed into their own towers, and Aurelia was able to keep, get slightly up in farm. The counter of the true damage to Camille's passive of armor, magic resist, shield, depending on which one it is, counters that. Be able to wave clear better than Camille, who has to spend a little bit more mana. The wave clear, getting further ahead, and then snowballing that, continuing keeping that pressure up, really allowed the bottom half of the map to do whatever they wanted, allowed the Warwick to focus down there, allowed the Cassiopeia, who was getting pushed in and did eventually lose the tower first, to maybe sustain and stay a little bit longer, as Echo could push her in, because Gragas had kept going to the top lane of the map to counteract that. The bot lane, which was basically a stalemate, eventually got rolling because Warwick was able to spend more quality time down in the bot lane than Gragas was, because Gragas was trying to split his time up evenly across the entire map, versus Warwick, who, like I said, was just focused on farming early and then countering where Gragas was going to be. Was able to counter the one top lane gank top, but was also able to counter two of his ganks bot lane. And other than that, Warwick didn't make really any other appearances other than a run by in mid lane once. So the extra CS and experience allowed Warwick to get ahead in that advantage, because the Gragas ganks weren't being as successful, because Gragas was dying in the 2v1s to Aurelia in the Aurelia Camille Gragas matchup, because of how far the Aurelia had got. It's just kind of how a little thing snowball from the top half of the map looking down, and then once Tristana does get to that IE static shiv, just kind of snowballs, and once Tristana gets the tower, chunked it for like half each time she got to a tower, and no real repercussion for it. So really good game one. Didn't get to see the aggression that I was kind of looking for out of the side of plants here, but I think that's something that we will hopefully see in game two, and when we going forward. I don't know I think that's just kind of just how this game played out, and that's one of the things I do like to watch out of their team is their aggression style coming forward. Going into, I guess we'll just sort of jump into game two here, and I will get that set up, and we will see, and I will do the pick bands and all that for game two here momentarily. Where is it?